before I get to that, I just want to say again how proud I am of my team, just how proud I am of our fans. They came out over the weekend. Really want to compliment our administration, Jay Logan, who made the facility so special and made it like it should for an NCAA event. And just really proud of our university. I think we put on a great event. I think all the student athletes from all 4 universities had a great experience, and that's what it's all about. It's about these kids. So it's a great day to be a Bulldog. Excited to be practicing this week with these young ladies. They're excited to be playing. I'm sure they're not that fired up about practicing, but they're excited about playing, and certainly have a very formidable and outstanding opponent in Washington. You know, it's you have to, this time of year, everybody's really good that's left, no doubt, but Washington's not only well coached, good friend of mine, Mike Neighbors, he's really one of the right coaches in our industry, and he's young. I think he's 10 years younger than me, so I've known him a long time. We're dear friends. He's probably one of the 4 or 5 I've got on speed dial that if I need to call and visit and bounce things off. He came down and spent time with me in the fall here with our program for 3 days, and we play a lot of golf together whenever we're together. So much respect for him, his staff. He's got a little Southeastern Conference flavor on his staff, and Todd Schaefer, and he's got the all-time leading scorer in the history of the game on his team, who's a tremendous player. He's really put her in some unique positions on the floor where she's just so multi-dimensional and so hard to prepare for. And so it's and it's not just her. They got, I mean, you watched the game last night. It's just it's a game of horse out there. If you're not guarding somebody, you're going to pay the price. Osa Hoare obviously is a tremendous basketball player, special. And so we've got our hands full, no question about it, but we'll be up for the challenge. We'll prepare this week. These kids will have great focus, and we're excited to be in the Sweet 16 again and playing this week. So, y'all.
Questions? Tom, I know the game plan has probably not been set, but odds are that you're going to see Kelsey Plum a good amount Friday.
Now, what makes you say, why can't I put tear on?
I just have a feeling.
Okay.
Have you started to think about Kelsey Plum? If so, what are some of the things that you've heard, seen in just that matchup?
I've seen her play a lot. She's really good. That's all you really need to know about her. She's really good. She's left-handed. She can do everything. She can off balance. She can spot up shoot. She's just a great player, and Coach Schaefer will have a great plan to. She will.
Assists.
Oh, what about it?
Last night she had like 9
Oh
assists,
my God,
so
yes.
she includes her whole
Yeah,
team.
she's looking for her other teammates. Last night, everybody's so worried about her. They're helping off their man, and the other players are knocking down shots, threes. I think they had 18 threes last night. So she's just all around great player. She can pass, she can score, she can do it all. So I think she's gonna have a great game plan for her, and I think it's gonna be a team effort. It's not gonna be just me. So I think we'll have a great plan.
As a defender, do you kind of get up for that though, as far as like your mental process with approaching that sort of matchup?
I think I go into every game the same. You know, I want to play the best defense I can to allow my team win. You know, she's a great player, so I have to be really focused just on Friday. So my mindset will be focused no matter what.
Cedar, can you talk a little bit about kind of the same way, I know the game plan probably hasn't been set, but odds are you and Chinwe, Chantel, she has the most unorthodox set shot 3-pointer from the top of the key. It's her favorite shot, but have you been thinking about her and what kind of challenge that is going to be for you and Chinwe?
Well, I mean, we guarded Asia, so I feel like it's nothing more guarding her. I mean, she can knock down the shot as well as Asia can knock down the shot. You know, she can go off the bounce and she has all the counters, so we just have to play them like we've been playing outside 5 players.
Have you seen a player like her be able to put the ball on the floor as well as she does? Because she can handle the ball pretty well for a bigger player.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen players like, well, we went against players, some players that can go off the bounce, so I think it'll be, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, DePaul's 5 players, she could go off the bounce. Yeah, Missouri too. So, it's not out of the norm, like, we've done it before, we just have to do it again.
So you experienced the postseason as a freshman last year, and this year, I don't know, more comfortable is the word, but how would you see going into the postseason this year as opposed to last year for you?
Last year, it was mainly more of me holding myself back, but when I listen to my coaches and I take in what they're telling me, and I know that it's right and I buy in, that's what's really brought me a long way.
Tom, you talked about Kelsey's ability to distribute and get her teammates involved. She almost seems to have an uncanny knack to know where her teammates are on the arc, especially to what you said about the number 3-point. What kind of a challenge does that present for you guys? Because you said it was, or you hope it's going to be a team defensive approach for you, but she's really going to test you in attacking, but test you in distributing too.
I think it poses some problems just because our team really likes to help a lot. So the thing we work on in practice this week is helping the helper and, dropping for other teammates, just getting our rotations right. I think as long as we help the helper, we'll be fine. Just like I said, it will be a team effort. If I can beat somebody, will have to help me, but we'll also have to help the helper.
Dom, how is it different this year compared to last year? I know last year people kind of hoped this would be a Sweet 16 team, but this year everybody expected this to be a Sweet 16 team. How's it different for you guys?
I think we just had higher expectations for ourselves this year. I think we felt like we were a much better team this year, and I don't know, just when we won on Friday, Sunday, we didn't really celebrate as much, I don't think. Last year when we beat Michigan State, it was just a lot of emotion. It was just, I felt like we were on such a high, and this year I think we knew it was going to be a hard game, but we expected to win, and Coach Schaefer gave us a good game plan, and when we won, it was just like, it's another win, and we have to keep going.
Not to say that there wasn't that motivation last year, but to Steve's point, did that provide a different sort of motivation or adrenaline Sunday? I don't even know if you can feel that different kind of a sense of motivation.
Can you explain?
Was it any different having that sense of responsibility or that you guys want to go further? And several of your teammates have said kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a responsibility, but I feel like there's a a motivation to go farther than we did last year, and we definitely want to do better than we did last year. So I think, we can just take it one game at a time and go from there.
Coach, the intensity in these games, especially in the NCAA tournament, just seems like it just goes up 50 notches. Do you have to tell them, hey, you guys need to be ready for a more intense game? This isn't the SEC, this is the NCAA tournament.
I don't think so. I watched our game Sunday again, and I was just really proud of how hard we played and the intensity that we played with, especially defensively. I thought it was one of our more intense defensive games all season. And I think the SEC just creates a habit of every time you step on the floor, you got to be ready or you can get embarrassed. So I think our kids are so used to every night playing a rival. I've said that all along. We got 16 rival games in the SEC, and I just think our kids they're in that mode. I mean, I've seen these teams on TV, and they win their second round game, and it's a doggone New Year's Eve party in the locker room, and you walk into mine, and they're like, okay, tell us what we're doing next. Do we have a day off tomorrow? Yeah, okay, great, we're gonna take Monday off. What time? I mean, they're going about their business, and I give them a lot of credit. At the same time, I'm hoping that they're excited and enjoying this, because what they've done, 31-4, is just, again, another back-to-back Sweet 16s. I mean, they have accomplished, it seems like, again, every time we go out and play, it's another record, something else. But these kids they're really businesslike. I mean, they just take it on, they win. Okay, what's next, coach? And so that's kind of been how they've been all year long. I've said that a lot, you know, they don't get too giddy about a win here, a win there. It's just, I think they expect it. I think they know they work hard enough and they expect to win.
Is that more of senior leadership, or is that just how the team has just grown together?
Yeah, I
over
think
time?
it's being veterans. You know, we're a junior, senior heavy team, heavy junior, senior team. T's not a real emotional kid. She doesn't, I mean, she gets excited every now and then, and if you see that, then you know. Like Jazz the other night, she got really emotional in the ballgame. You know, I've not seen that from her. But that first steal, man, she's pumping that fist and excited, and then she had something happen at half court. She's screaming, and you know, and so you. But that's what I love, man. I love my kids to play with fire and passion. Bree had an M1, man. She's about to jack one of her own teammates up. She's so excited. So it's just, that's what I enjoy coaching these kids, because I want to see them that way. I mean, that's when you know, man, they're in it to win it.
For the players, can both of you talk about, kind of someone behind the scenes in the program? She didn't wanna talk about herself, but, Mary Ann, and what she means to keeping the train on the tracks and on schedule.
Marianne means everything to this program. She makes sure we're where we need to be. She makes sure we have everything we need. She makes sure he has whatever he needs, practice plan, his whistle, whatever. I feel like she's always there for us. She's like a guardian angel, kind of, you know. She just means a lot to our program, and we really are grateful to have her. And I don't think we would be the same without her. She's just awesome.
Marion's like the mother of everybody. It's like she tells you what to do, and it's like, okay, you gotta do it, you gotta be here, you gotta do this. It's like, you may not wanna do it, but it's like, you better not tell her that, cause it's just not gonna go good.
And why did you laugh when I asked that question?
Because I know how she is. Like, it's like, you have to do this, you have to do this, and it's like, she has everything set up. So like, right when we're done, she's like, okay, this is our schedule, and he asked, she's like, so Marianne, what are we doing? And she's like, okay, we have this, and we're just like, oh, okay, guess we have those things to do.
Coach, being on the threshold of history and maybe doing something that's never been done before, is that
Yeah.
a positive and a negative, or is it something that you just kind of use to keep people focused? How do you view that?
This is the new norm at Mississippi State, but it's what we do. It's what Johnny and I are used to doing. Mary Ann's used to doing it as a player, and you know what? She's used to doing it now, and so is she. But she'll have 2 more years after this year that this is the way it's supposed to be, and anything short of that, you know, unfortunately, really the success that you're evaluated on is what you do in postseason. And that, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's kind of how you're evaluated if you're really worth your salt. So I think, you know, for us, this is from day one, this is kind of what was expected. You know, when we had the Army guys come in here and put us through 2 days of boot camp and going through what we went through, I mean, this is what we had in mind. This was the piece that we wanted, that toughness piece, that togetherness piece, that chemistry piece, that bond. We wanted that, and I think that's what you're seeing right now in these last 2 games is some great chemistry with our entire team. We are a really good team, and people need to get past what maybe happened years ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and understand that this game at this level is about having a really good team. And we have a really good team. We have a bunch of really good players. So, you know, I do think this is what you're supposed to do. I've always said that. You know, if I'm doing my job right, you're playing up until the 1st of April. And so this is kind of what we do now.
I think the saying is make your biggest jump from your freshman to sophomore season. Is that what you saw from T?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, you know, I came to her about midway through the year and told her, I said, T, I think you got a chance to be 6th player of the year if we keep doing what we're doing. There was a part of me that wanted to throw her in the lineup, but I didn't want her to lose that opportunity. What I do think that the conference missed on is I think she should have been 2nd team All-SEC. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. But at the end of the day, it's fine. She ain't worried about it, neither am I. We'll get that in years to come, but the kid is obviously improved tremendously. And you know what? You can't say this about a lot of people, but I think she can jump that big again from now till next year too. I think she's got that much that she can really, develop and get to another level with her game.
With
So,
the, with the success of this past weekend, shaping up the lineup the way it did with rotations and how things worked out, would you hesitate to go back to the original lineup depending on the matchup, or do you wanna stay with what you're doing?
I wouldn't hesitate to do that at all. I just, you know, I'm really comfortable with all these kids playing, and I think they're comfortable playing. You know, Dawn came off the bench, but she still played her normal 31 minutes, you know. So I don't think Dominique Dillingham cares one way or another whether she's out there when they jump center or not. She wants to win. The bottom line is probably when the game's on the line late, I think Dillingham's gonna be on the floor. So I think that's the mindset of all of our kids. I give our kids a lot of credit for that. I think you guys are making a lot bigger deal of that than our kids are. I think our kids are just, hey, this is the way it is. Let's be ready. If I'm on the bench, I gotta be ready, because you know what? The bench has been ready for them all year, you know? Those kids coming off the bench the first of the year, they have been ready. They've answered the call. They've answered the bell. They've helped us all year long. And so now, all of a sudden, it's a little flip-flopped, and there's, you know, everybody thinks it's such a big deal. It's really not. These kids have been, they're still probably playing the same amount of minutes, if that's fair to say. It's just in a different, a little bit of different start.
You said something to the effect of, I think it was Sunday, that you've gained maybe a different sense of confidence in some of the players, and you've kind of moved away from the feeling that you had earlier in the season about the way that things needed to go. You didn't really discuss how you came to that. I don't wanna call it an epiphany if it wasn't an epiphany, but what caused that realization?
I'll just give you one example. There's so many things that go into this, y'all. There's not enough time for us to talk about it, but I'll give you one example. Maroon and Gray, they play every day. We play Bulldog. It's 3 4-minute scrimmages of as fast as you can get up and down as you can. Playing. We don't call a lot of fouls, we do call them, but and we play as hard as we can. Well, Gray has been getting the best of Maroon lately, in the last couple of weeks. They've been doing a good job. Now, I didn't say they beat them every time, but they've been getting them. And so when that happens, well, at some point, I mean, I'm looking at it and seeing it. This is supposed to be the first 5, this is supposed to be the next 5. Well, the next 5 is getting the best of the first 5. And it's happened now more than once, more than twice. You know, and you go about that for 2 weeks, well, man, my confidence expands. And so you see those combinations, and you got these combinations, and now I'm like a football coach that's got 2 kinds of quarterbacks. He's got the option guy, and he's got the drop back passer. I got a whole set. I got 2 different playbooks for 2 different sets of players, really. Not so much at the 5, but I definitely do at the 2-3. And so I think that's the thing right now that's helping us keep people off balance. I can go to 2 completely different philosophies with these 2 and cross over a little bit, but not completely. One group's a lot better at doing something than the other group. The other group's a lot better at doing something than this group. So the constant, those are my 5 players. 8 for 15, 18 rebounds on Sunday. Huh? Yeah, and then my point guards have been, you know, really good. Mo kind of dropped off over the weekend from a scoring standpoint. She played okay, but boy, Jazz was really special on Sunday. And so again, but Jazz has been part of that Gray team that she has got a motor with no governor, and she's rolling. And so, and she's making good decisions. Decision making has always been kind of her Achilles. If I can ever get her, you know, and I think Friday she had 5 turnovers, but I thought she played good. When we were walking off the floor, I put my arm around her and said, "Man, baby, you really played this year." "Oh, no, coach. 5 turnovers, that's way too many." Well, first of all, that's a sign of growth for her to be accountable. Not me having to prod her to be accountable. She just immediately was accountable. That's a sign of growth for that young lady. She bounces back Sunday, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 14 points, 8 out of 10 free throw line, runs our team. I mean, so she played great. Well, now also what everybody needs to know is this creates competition. I expect to have 3 really good practices this week. People competing. I mean, her and Chinway, they go at it. I mean, there's not a lot of lovey-dovey going on down there in practice. You know, you couldn't use the word Charmin to describe those two. They get after it pretty good. Sometimes they get a little upset with each other, but it's just in the heat of the moment. They care deeply for one another. But that's what we've got going right now, which is a healthy thing. And it's healthy and good for this time of year. So again, you wanna be playing your best right now. You wanna keep everybody to have an edge. I think we've got an edge. I don't think there's a lot of people comfortable. Well, that's good. Most of the time you reach your potential when you're uncomfortable. And I think we've got some kids right now that, not in a bad way or uncomfortable, but they're wanting to compete. They all wanna play. Every one of mine wants to play. Amisha, Iggy, they all wanna play. Amisha and Iggy are probably practicing as well as anybody on our team right now. Wouldn't y'all agree? Every day. But they bring it every day. I mean, they're working our butt running the scout team with Jordan. That's what you gotta have.
Hey, the Oklahoma coach yesterday said that she ran out of adjectives to describe Plum. How are you planning to make things difficult for her?
Well, we're gonna try to do a really good job defending her. And, obviously, great player. She's got a lot of different, a lot of things in her game that make her, make her hard to handle. And so we're gonna have, like Dom said, it's probably not gonna be up to one person. We're probably gonna have to do some things with more than just Dominique. And, I think that's the challenge in trying to develop a game plan for somebody as great as her. One thing, I had to develop a game plan for Jackie Stiles at Southwest Missouri when I was at Arkansas. And, it'll be, at the end of the day, it'll be about kids playing and executing, and we always talk about execution on offense, but we gotta execute defensively with her. And again, I'm really encouraged watching our film with DePaul, because really, quite frankly, DePaul and Washington are very similar. And so I thought we really did a good job with DePaul. DePaul doesn't necessarily have a Plum, but they've got a bunch of people that can shoot it, stretch it. So, I think you better have more than one plan going in with her. So if one doesn't work, you can go to the next one. And I think that'll be the best thing I could say, is that we'll be multi-dimensional going in. And, obviously you can say, well, I wanna limit her touches. Well, it's hard to limit her touches when she's the one getting the ball on that, she's the point guard bringing it up. And that's what I saw last night is, once that ball's in her hands, she's really making some great decisions with the ball. And, if you go under on screen, she knock down the 3, you go over and get hit, she's gonna get it to the rim. You come off and help, she's gonna find where the help came from. Well, that's a problem defensively, so you better be able to handle some things in order to keep her from doing all that.
Her consistency is striking as well. I mean, she's putting up 30 points, 25 points.
She's 53%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what she does is at an all-time level. I mean, it's unlike anything ever been done. I don't know what Jackie Stiles' field goal percentage was in college. I'm sure Adam will know by the time I get to the locker room. But her 52. So she's doing it at a clip of 53, and again, doing it in a heck of a league in the Pac-12. Jackie was in the Missouri Valley and not taking anything away from there, but Pac-12 might be a little bit different, going against really good players, great coaches, and so she's doing it at a really high level. I mean, they're talking about her being the #1 pick, and the team that's got the #1 pick does not need a guard. But how do you pass on her? It's crazy. She's that good.
To Dom's point about helping the helper, when you guys prepare in the next 3 days, is that kind of necessarily a point that you bring to the forefront of the scouting report? Because I imagine you do a lot of that every day in practice, but does that climb in the priority in terms of, this is what we need to do?
No, I think we've got some habits that have been built over the course of time. Those habits kick in every time we step on the floor. And so, you know, I think for us, our habits kick in defensively. You know, we like to think we can go through every offensive set that somebody's gonna run, but you know what, people put in new sets just like we do. Well, when you haven't seen those sets, that's when your defensive fundamentals kick in. And so I think our defensive fundamentals kick in a lot when people ad-lib, plays break down, somebody comes and sets a ball screen. I mean, you gotta be able to fall back on your fundamentals. And I think our kids do a tremendous job of that. So today's always a good fundamental day. We always work hard on Tuesdays on those things, and today won't be any different.
Morgan's hand, okay, you know, and everything?
Yeah, she didn't have any tape on it. She's out there shooting free throws just now, so, you know, I'm not sure what happened to him, but I'm pretty sure she's okay.
All right, thanks ladies, thanks.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord and go dogs.